I am so excited about my next guest. I want you to meet Lachi. She's an award-winning blind performer, highly recognized disability culture icon activist, and USA Today's 2024 Woman of the Year. And she's kind enough to join us right here on the Live Zone. Lachi, good to see you.
Hey, so good to see you, and thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here this month, which is National Disability Employment Awareness Month.
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Did I get it right?
Lachi like Versace, you got it.
I absolutely love it. Your work really goes beyond music, and I'm thinking about what you have been able to do for so many folks that are disabled.
Yes. Well, at the end of the day, I believe that everyone in America interfaces with disability. And by the way, it is okay to say the word. We don't need euphemisms like handy-capable or differently abled. Let's just talk about disability. Whether you are aging, whether you have a child or a friend, or whether you are temporarily disabled, or whether you were born with a disability, everyone interfaces with disability. And so I believe it's a topic we need to talk more about, considering the fact that over 1 in 4 Americans have some form of disability.
Wow, I didn't know that. Interesting. Good to find out. I'm curious.
Not enough people know that. In fact, it's 29% according to the CDC.
Okay. With regard to aspiring artists, there's so many folks watching right now, and perhaps they have a disability, but they're not sure how to move forward. Maybe they're somewhat timid, but, well, they got to look at you and see what you've been able to do and how successful you've been able to become. What inspiring words would you say to them?
Well, I always tell people, folks are going to take your shoulders and they're going to turn you right, and they're going to take your shoulders and turn you left. But it's until you take your own shoulders and go in the direction you want to go, that your life will truly begin. I mean, at the end of the day, I didn't wake up ready to do everything that I'm doing. It takes resilience. It takes overcoming adversity. It takes jumping through those hoops. But I do have to say that as a person with a disability, I am blind, and I also identify as neurodivergent. Those were traits, not issues, at the end of the day, that helped me become more resilient, that helped me become more innovative, and that helped me adapt to adversity. And so I say lean into your disability as a USP, as a strength, because nobody got anything dope being normal.
Yeah, and you do it all so well. I want to make mention that you are now the host and narrator of PBS's American Masters Renegades, a new documentary-style TV series that premieres in October. What's this all about?
Well, so honestly, it's a very beautiful project of mine that I'm really excited about. And what we do is we go through disabled heroes who've helped shape America, who have been unsung. Everywhere from a gentleman named Brad Lomax, who was a Black Panther, who actually helped shape the ADA and the Americans with Disabilities Act, situations that we benefit from today, to blind Tom Wiggins. When we think of the blind musician trope, the blind piano player, we think about Ray Charles, but honestly, Tom Wiggins was the first Black blind piano player. And so we go through these amazing historical figures that have helped shape American culture and give them that light.
Wow, can't wait to watch that. You are also, by the way, the founder of the Recording Artists and Music Professionals with Disabilities, otherwise known as RAMPD. Can you tell us about the organization?
Yeah, so RAMPD, it essentially equips the music and entertainment industry with disability inclusive solutions. So we essentially do everything from comms consultations and policy consultations and trainings to make sure that as we navigate the live entertainment industry, folks are doing it with disability inclusion, culture, and equity in mind. And we do it in a modern and innovative way. Listen, we're not here to be sad about disability. We're not here to make disability boring. We're here to lean into the strengths that neurodivergence and disability provides. We're also a network of music industry professionals with disabilities, neurodivergence, chronic conditions, and the like, who work and navigate the music industry to make it a more colorful and beautiful space. So honestly, if you identify in that way, come join us at Ramped over at ramp.org. I mean, we really are changing the industry. We've worked with everyone from the Grammys to Netflix to Live Nation to Sony Pictures Entertainment, and we are not stopping. So come get on this bus because we are driving forward.
Yeah, but wait, there's more, as they say. You're even diving into politics in a certain way. That is, we know that we are in the midst of a presidential election that's going to be taking place in, gosh, under 50 days. With that being said, and now that I know that 1 in 4 Americans now has a disability, what do you think the candidates should be speaking about to make sure that they bring more awareness to that?
A recent article came out that said that a lot of folks with disabilities honestly feel that politicians don't care about them. Politicians don't care about their needs. But when we think about it, 50% of folks over 65 have some form of disability. Folks with disabilities permeate our population. And folks with disabilities care about things like drug costs. Folks with disabilities care about economic empowerment. Folks with disabilities care about things like family leave, about home services. And these are things that the candidates are not speaking enough about. Folks with disabilities are out here trying to vote. You know, there's a lot of voter suppression for folks with disabilities in the fact that early voting is not just an easy right for a lot of people in certain states. There are a lot of inaccessible polling places, and we really need to think about these things because we're leaving millions of votes on the table when we don't have folks with disabilities voting. And this is a bipartisan issue. Folks with disabilities are about 30%, 30%, 30% across the R, the D, and the independent. So this is something that all folks should really be paying attention to because last year in 2020, 18 million votes were from people with disabilities. Do you really want to leave those votes on the table? Wow. We're here, we're listening, and we want to know that folks are listening to us.
Well, Lachi, you forgot one thing. Folks want to find out more about you. And with that said, how would one go about to do so?
Yeah, you can find me at Lachi Music, LachiMusic.com, on Instagram, on socials, on Twitter. You can follow all of my award-winning music. You can follow my social media where we go viral, walking down the street with our glam canes. But if, again, you are someone who's interested in making the music and live entertainment industry more accessible, inclusive, and disability-friendly, find us over at RAMPD, ramps.org.
Lachi, she is a star in her own right. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
How cool is that, guys?